don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. They can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
What up, Truth Nation? This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power here on 1017 The Truth, and it's a blessing to have you here with me today as we talk about everything you need to know. DJ Brother Z, welcome back. How you feeling?
DJ Brother Z.
Not so much how you feeling, but I'm happy that you're here, man. I'm happy that you're here. But as we get things started, as always, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking to text line. You definitely want to get in on this conversation today because we will be talking about Milwaukee Public Schools Superintendent Finalist name. And I told y'all before on Monday that I did some digging and I found some real good information about these candidates that you should know about, who are the 3 finalists for the position to be the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools. So we're definitely going to get into that. But also, if you want to watch and stream us live, make sure you go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, go ahead, give your boy a like as well for the show today. Now, I told y'all yesterday, remember, I told y'all yesterday I had a surprise. I had a surprise for y'all that I knew y'all was going to love. And with the surprise, I need y'all to go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube right now. So go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube because the surprise is actually here with me. And one thing that I said when I took over this show is I said I'm only going to do this show if I get to amplify other black voices in the community. And they didn't give me any pushback. They said, for sure, we got you. And so with that being said, y'all, I'm excited. This is the first time, but not the last time. Because Truth to Power is not just about me speaking my truth to power. It's about Truth Nation speaking their truth to power. But also, I wanted to make sure that legends in the community could also continue to come on to speak their truth to power, because we know this person that is here with me is an absolute legend. And this is my first time being able to be on radio with this individual. And it's a blessing to be on radio with this individual. So without further ado, welcome to Truth to Power. And this ain't the first time. Oh, it's the first time. Won't be the last time because he will be coming in every other week. It is no one other than the legendary Homer Blow, who is joining me here today and will be joining me every other week on Truth to Power. Homer Blow, welcome, and thank you for just saying yes to come in with me.
Oh, absolutely, Kyle. It is my honor and blessing, man, to be on Truth to Power. Definitely been checking you out. You've been getting it in, man. You've been getting it in.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, but I'm very excited because I had an opportunity to, listen to you, especially when you were filling in on the morning show, and I'm like, man, Homer Blow, that man is cold. He got me wanting to say everything black.
Right.
But I'm like, man, so I love it. I said, that's his thing, but I absolutely love it, man. And what you've done for the community is incredible. Right? Before I even had a chance to meet you, I knew about your legacy, right?
Thank you.
And so that's why, for me, as someone who's aspiring to obtain the level of success and giving back to the community that you have is something that I want to aspire to be. So I think you hopefully just being in your presence allow for me to just continue to grow and be better and encourage me to continue to always put the community first like you do.
Oh, absolutely. And I put you to work at a lot of the different events and things that I do. So
let me know.
Put your boots on the ground.
I love
Where
that.
Where the fans at?
I love that. I love that. I love that. But let's get to it. 833-212-1017. They told me I got to sit down today. That's cool. I got to sit down today. That's all right. That's probably better for me not to be moving around like something wrong with me. But Homer Blow, you haven't been on air with us in about 2 or 3 weeks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit it off the top because off the top, I want to hear about what's been going through your mind with all this nonsense going on.
Well,
Woke up this morning. You got yourself.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
So y'all always know I got something to get off my chest today, but Homer Blow, I know he ain't been on with us on 101.7 The Truth since the election of Donald Trump. Or I shouldn't say election, since he was sworn in to become the actual president, Inauguration Day. So it's been 2 weeks now. A lot of stuff been going on. And I got to know, man, give Truth Nation the legendary Homer Blow's takeaway from the first 2 weeks of Donald Trump being back in office.
He crazy as hell. We knew it. People are F-A-F-O-ing. You feel what I'm saying? We said it was going to happen, and now they doing it. F-A-A-F-O. That's what's happening. I've seen a lot of people that had on the little red hats, and now they up there crying at the deportation border. I seen stage. They was on stage and shaking maracas and all of that, and now that same woman and some of those other people, literally them at the border being deported. So I'm telling you, it's coming out all over the place. And then with all of these tariffs, he had to rescind that. He rescinded that this morning. He rescinded the Mexico and Canada tariffs because, again, man, he don't know what the hell he's doing, in my opinion. And it is affecting more than just his group of people. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
Some
true.
of his other groups of people are being affected by it. So when you put that federal freeze out there and do all of that, man, listen, people that voted for you are catching it.
Yeah.
Listen, black people are not the number one people on Section 8. Black people are not number one people with EBT and SNAP. So when it start hitting them, and then when the college freezes and all of that, man, it hit they kids too. And they was like, you had Republicans blowing him up like, hey.
Yeah, the federal freeze, that one is very interesting because actually as of yesterday, I know that some people are still locked out of the Medicaid system as well. And so I know that federal freeze, the reason why he rescinded that one was not because blue states were complaining or black people were complaining. It's because those red states quietly contact him and say, hey, because you only heard about governors and states that are blue states that were loud. But y'all think this only y'all think that Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, all these states that are bottom of education, bottom of healthcare, the states that also economically are struggling as well, you think they didn't make a phone call to say, hey, we frozen out of our stuff too? They just didn't say it loudly. They said it quietly.
Absolutely. And that's it. Again, it's not just affecting those people that some of them feel don't matter. It affected their people too. And his supporters, it affected them. And that's why that had to get put on hold. That's why the federal judges say, yeah, we're going to put temporary blocks in. And now, like I say, with him pausing and rescinding, now you got to take everything black. So are you really doing what you said you were going to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing.
Because you're taking it black.
And what's I love that. And what's the crazy thing is that I know somebody who was in contact with a Trump supporter, and they said they were having a conversation yesterday, and that's when she found out that the Medicaid portal was still down today. Medicaid portal was still down as of yesterday, and she's very concerned, right? And she said, you know what? She's concerned about the prices, and she said, I actually regret my vote. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of somebody being in it, and you already regretting your vote.
FAAFO.
And that's exactly what it is. But I'm glad you got that off your chest. And before we continue to move on, we get into MPS on the other side. What's your take about the diversity, equity, inclusion? I've seen a lot of different ideas about this one, a lot of different takes on this one. You as being someone who, you know, has been around and I'm sure have seen people benefit from DEI, whether it's a black person, white person, a white woman, or somebody LGBTQ community. What's your overall take on with your, you know, historic lens on that?
It continues to open the door to public racism and companies and people that really wouldn't have hired individuals, black, and then when people think that black women were the ones that were really prospering because of the DEI, no, it was white women, in my opinion.
Yep.
You
No. Factually.
You know what I'm saying?
Factually, white women benefited from diversity, equity, inclusion more than any other group. But we have to understand, a lot of people use that, but what I say is this, is that we should actually realize that when they had to diversify, white women were the first one in line.
Absolutely.
That they gave it to.
Absolutely.
And that's what we have to understand.
And they met their quota. Well, we got them. We hired them. You know what I mean? So, so again, it is just opening what we saw it. I mean, he ain't even hide it that this was going to be racially motivated. And everything he's doing and all of the choices that he's doing right now, the majority of them, in my opinion, are racially motivated.
So there you have it. Off the top with Homer Blow. The legendary Homer Blow is joining us here today. And y'all know Homer Blow got a lot to say, especially when it comes to what's happening with MPS. I see y'all on the Talking Text line. Also, I see you on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Miriam said Canada has already started pulling off U.S. beer from the shelves. Yep. Actually, here locally, the microbreweries are very concerned. So Lakefront Brewery, which is downtown Milwaukee, they have, you can go do a tour down there. You can grab something to eat as well. Lakefront Brewery right here in downtown Milwaukee, they said they had orders already canceled from Canada. So you're talking about the impact, right? That's a real impact. You're talking about small microbreweries that are already struggling right now, and you just saw exactly what happened. They're not a small microbrewery, but you saw they just closed down a factory in Chippewa Falls for the what is that beer called again? Oktoberfest beer. Can't think of the name of the beer.
Lion and Kugel.
Lion and Kugel. Thank you. Yeah, Lion and Kugel. The Lion and Kugel. They closed down the factory in Chippewa Falls, and they also closed down a factory here in Milwaukee because Miller Brewing, or they own the company now, and they decided to close down the factories. But overall, you're already seeing the impact. So we definitely going to see what else is to come. But 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talk to text line. Make sure y'all chime in, because coming up next, we're going to talk about Milwaukee Public Schools, and we're going to talk about the important superintendent hiring that is coming up in the coming days. February 6th and February 7th is when they will be having public interviews. Your chance, if you have a child at MPS, you're a community member, if you're somebody who cares about MPS, February 6th and 7th will be your opportunity to have an open forum with the candidates who are looking to lead the largest school district in the state of Wisconsin. We're going to give you information about that and so much more, but keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace and the legendary Homer Blow.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
The white friends that I have, especially the ones that I'm very, very close to, they all have something in common. They're all incredibly well-traveled. And when you are stuck in the United States, you are stuck in the institutions and the culture and the groupthink of the United States. And if you are white, a lot of that culture and a lot of that groupthink is don't hang out with black people. Don't be friends with black people. Judge black people. Be very stereotypical of black people.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Visit Pella at the Neri Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Find out why Pella has the best wood warranty in the industry. Learn about their incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home, and how Pella's professional installers work fast and year-round. The timing is impeccable. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You also have no worries thanks to Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's February 14th through the 16th at Neri Spring Home Improvement Show. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you quality name brand jeans and work pants because we get you. So stock up now with unbeatable deals on your favorite styles for spring. Like men's Key brand bibs or jeans, $10 off when you buy two. $5 off men's Dickies Flex Tough Max jeans. While you're in for jeans, save 15% on assorted brake pads, shocks, struts, suspension parts, and more. And Performance Tool Automotive Specialty Tools and Grease Guns, 20% off. We get you what you need because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Once upon a time, and I heard
1017 The Truth is the home of Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference basketball. We have a classic MPS matchup tonight as the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats take on the Bradley Tech Trojans. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m., and you will hear the classic, the legendary Warren Price. Have you ever met Warren Price before?
No.
He's the MPS historian. He's been calling basketball games for MPS for the last 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so definitely tune in tonight. The City Conference Game of the Week on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools and presented by Gruber Law Offices. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I am joined by the legendary Homer Blow, who is here with me today. And again, fortunate to have Homer Blow with me today.
Hey, blessing is mine, man. The blessing is mine.
Yeah. So make sure y'all watch and stream us on YouTube Live. And we're going to get into it. We are definitely going to get into it because, again, February 6th and February 7th, MPS will be having open forums for you to be able to interview, or not so much interview, but, have questions and ask questions of the superintendent candidates that will be coming here to Milwaukee to, again, be the leader of the largest school district in the state. And it is an important time that we have a conversation about what we're looking for, right? And how do we advance? Because regardless of who we have as a superintendent, Homer, I think it comes down to the parents, the teachers, and the community that can help that superintendent be successful, right? I don't know if Keith Posley wasn't successful because he didn't care. Right? I think Keith Posley, he dedicated his career and his life of professionally to working with students, right?
Right.
And he came up here from the South to work with students. And so what is your perspective overall when we look at what they need from a superintendent? What do you think is more important, who they hire as a superintendent or the community coming together?
I believe that the community coming together, because we are potentially their boss. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that the community coming together and letting the superintendents know, the candidates that are coming in on February 6th and 7th, we need to let them know what we need. Stop talking about what we want and what they should do. Let's tell them what we need. We know where the failures happen with the predecessors, the previous people. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to zone in on that, and we also got to stay engaged. Parents and the community need to stay engaged, because these schools, maybe you don't have a student that's in one of the schools, but they're in our communities. and what they do at that school and around that school affects you.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I mean, I know one thing that everybody's been talking about is that achievement gap, right? And so I'm one that I'm a staunch believer in the fact that, listen, when it comes to the achievement gap, I feel like that there's a lot of people responsible for that, but I feel like it's the parents, right? Because when I look at for myself, I mean, I didn't have an achievement gap, right? When I went to school, I didn't have that gap, and I'm black, and so a lot of people paint this as a black student thing, where I think a lot of times it's more environment than it is actual like classroom, right? I think all the kids are more than capable. It's just because I would love to see the incomes, right? I would love to see the achievement gap based off income. And I think it will paint a different picture on how big the gap is, or if there is even a gap.
Well, you know, I even with thinking about that, Kyle, in my opinion, the income gaps were there when I was going to school. And it didn't stop you from graduating. It didn't stop you from attending school. So I'm allergic to ENCs, which are excuses and complaints, and parents have to become accountable. We have to hold our children, whether they're the younger elementary, middle, junior high school, we got to hold them accountable. We have to demand academic excellence. We can't, you can play that video game. They playing that video game like it's nothing. Oh, they done flipped it over. They ready for game 2 and level 4 and all of that. So if you can achieve that, it lets me know that the knowledge is there inside of you. And then the parental engagement with talking to these teachers, going to these schools, sitting in, trying to figure out what is the environment in these schools that your son or daughter or your grandkids are going into. Because it's a lot. It's a lot that they are going into, and they may not be used to it at home, but then when they get inside the school, they're exposed to it, and how to deal with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the people in charge need to make us as parents and grandparents comfortable with knowing that, you know, this is the actions that they're taking.
Yeah, and, you know, something before the show as well we were talking about only showing up when you mad and angry, right? And that's the thing that I take issue with is, again, I don't have any kids, and so I don't have any students in MPS, so I'm not one that is going to go to all these different meetings.
Right.
But if I had children inside where I actually had a stake in it, like a real stake, because right now the stake is the fact that I care about the kids, right? And so I'll talk to people within the district that I do know, or people who are influential, and kind of ask some questions, or people who are teachers, right? And ask what's going on and how we can be better, and try to reach people I know. But overall, going to these meetings, a lot of times we see on TV, like when it's too late, right? When you're showing up to the meetings, you know, when they voting on yes or no, and not when they got it on the agenda. Like it's way too late.
Now you want to cuss them out. Now you want to do this, and now you want to do that. And anybody who really knows about how to effectively communicate, they're going to tune you out, because you would tune somebody else out.
Yeah.
If that's the way that they approach you.
Yeah.
So that's not, you know, you're not going to get it with just coming in there to yell. A lot of those people that go in there to some of those school board meetings, that's the only damn time they've been in that building. On a special occasion. It's like how funerals have become the new family reunions for a lot of black people.
Yeah, which is all just unfortunate.
Ain't it crazy?
It's unfortunate, and the sad thing about that, just going in a different direction, is the fact that people care about you at the moment when you pass away, when it's time to come, but then all of a sudden, you know, a week later they go back to
and then they lie to you. We got to stay together. We got to be focused. That's how we have to be with the school board. We have to not only get engaged for the moment. It's a consistency thing. The only thing that's going to help change the MPS schools and the school board is us showing up. When you have a school board director that ended up saying from the board, saying this is the most people we've seen in here. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that. That's when what were they? That was when they're gonna pass the tax.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was fiery.
Yeah.
Definitely fiery.
Yeah. That was Durrell. And that's the sad reality. And I would bring that point out too. We only show up when we want to just be mad at something.
So what's your take on the MPS school board? I have no idea if you have relations with anybody, or what's your overall take on it? Because I remember it might have been a previous election, but it might have been 2020, I feel like. And when they were running for school board, it might have been spring of 2020. And I remember some of the candidates, and I never forget they had socialist candidates running for school board. And I just remember thinking to myself, and thankfully I know the one I'm thinking of did not win, but I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? Like, we got candidates who are talking about political views and socialists coming to our schools, and again, not trying to make it about race, but a white guy talking about socialists with a district, that is, I believe, 60% black. I believe it's like 60% black. I have to check the numbers, but definitely over 50% black. MPS is. What is the purpose of this? Like, what's your take overall on the state of the school board?
Well, it's in, some of it is definitely in disarray. I've heard people say get rid of everybody. You feel what I'm saying? I know that there are some people on the school board that have a dedication for the community and they have a love for the community. But again, we have an issue just like when it's time for primary and general elections. When it's time to go vote for the people that can sit on that school board, we don't vote. We don't vote. And that's why you can have socialists and all of those people that can end up, hey, just come vote for me, and bam, I'm on the board. You feel what I'm saying? Not necessarily people who are truly dedicated and are passionate, and they out here in the community, and you see them doing the work. You see them having meetings outside of just when it's at the school board, having these community meetings saying, we need to hear from you. Here are some things that are going to be coming up, and here's some meeting you might need to attend. So what's your thoughts on it? Engagement, man, parental engagement and community engagement. Other than that, these people that are there for the minimal check that they may get, they're going to just keep being the ones sitting on the board making decisions that affect your children and your life.
833-212-1017. What is your thoughts on the impact of the school board, the superintendent, and parents and families when it comes to MPS? Because I'm thinking about like people like Aisha Carr. And I know Aisha Carr was a loud voice, but also she was a voice that was trying to be unique and different, right?
Yep.
And I don't know her personally. I met her a couple of times, and I didn't 100% agree with everything, but what I did agree with is the fact that she was actually trying to implement some type of radical change, right? And that's the thing that mattered to me, is that they're actually trying to implement some type of change for our students, because the way that I look at it is the status quo where we at right now ain't it. And again, MPS is the school district needs improvement. But there are a lot of kids that are doing the right things, right? There are a lot of kids that are going on to be great. You can't walk nowhere. You can't go in no probably office building in the city of Milwaukee that has over 20 employees where you ain't going to find an MPS grad. Right? You can walk right up the street at Marquette University's campus, and it's full of Milwaukee Public School grads, right?
Correct.
You can walk around inside of the Good Karma Brands building right here and find MPS grads. And not just MPS grads on 1017 The Truth, right? I just want y'all to know that. We got MPS grads who work in our office that don't work for The Truth, right?
Absolutely.
So for people to say, oh, yeah, because y'all got a black race. No. We have MPS grads up and down this place. And so that's my whole thing, is that MPS is a great school district, but somewhere, right? Somewhere it got broken.
because some of those families are messed up. You know what I'm saying? I would say F, but you go.
Yeah, no, we can't say. But no,
So we have to, as a community, be able to wrap our arms around those students and those children that don't have it at home. They're around blunts, they're around alcohol, they're around pills and all of this kind of stuff, like it's a normal routine.
No, my bad. I was trying to talk into Zach here, and I said something, Homer. But my bad for distracting you. But you know something that triggered me is one thing. We talking about parenting again. I am not a parent. I say that all the time. And one thing, and again, you can watch and stream us live on YouTube. 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you come in, watch and stream us live. And I want to talk about this a little bit on the other side. And we're gonna get into the MP. I want to talk about these candidates, but the whole parenting thing of I hate seeing parents in the store with their kids and the way they talk to them or how the way they talk around them. Like even yesterday, I heard a parent with their young kid, probably a 3-year-old in the cart, and she seemed like a nice parent, but the language she used, it threw me off. Like she wasn't yelling at her kid, thank goodness, but the stuff that she said in front of her child, I'm like, man, oh man.
Those are things that PWKs do.
Yeah, I just didn't like
People
that.
with kids.
833-212-1017. Before we go to break, Todd, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
Yeah, my thoughts are, I just think it's a sign of the times that a lot of these kids are more visual than, learning by reading and everything. So what they're doing is we have these phones now, and all you do is they got their face planted right smack dab in the middle of it, and they're learning by seeing and operating these devices. And I wasn't the greatest reader when I was coming up, and I wasn't the greatest at math either, But I didn't have a device in my hand that allowed me to say, pull it out and be like, okay, well, here's a calculator right here. I can do all the math right here on my phone, which is what I do now. And I've been to several jobs, and, they say, bring a calculator. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm just thinking it's more, we got to stop blaming the teachers. We got to start pointing the finger at, us. I work 10, sometimes 12 hours a day, and shoot, when I get off, man, I be tired, shoot. And I'm like, my son probably needs help, but shoot, I got to get ready to do it again the next day.
We can't act like our parents weren't tired. And they still knew that they had a responsibility. So although I hear you, and then when we talking about the
Homer, we soft now. I ain't gonna lie.
Right, man.
We soft.
Right,
I put in the work, and I know DJ Brother Z. Shout out to him. He different. He'll put in the work too. But a lot of people don't want to put in that time, 10 to 12 hours a day. A lot of people be like, "Oh, you crazy?"
Right, absolutely. And the phones that they looking at, they can't even spell. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So that's part of the problem.
They can spell check. 833-212-1017.
And get that wrong.
The legendary voice you hear is Homer Blow. Did I do it right?
Yes, sir. Homer Blow.
The legendary Homer Blow is joining me. He will be joining me twice a month, and maybe we'll increase that as well. But I got some more surprises for y'all coming up too as well, because I want to get as many voices here as possible. But I am joined by the legendary Homer Blow on Truth to Power. 833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. We are talking about the Milwaukee Public Schools superintendent interviews that are happening. Again, February 6th and February 7th will be your opportunity for a meet and greet. Now, when we come back, Homer, I haven't shared this information with you, and I see you, Al, on the line. We're going to get you as well, so I definitely keep holding. But I want to share with you some information that I did some digging and some research into these candidates.
Okay.
And I'm going to share with you why MPS is still a mess. Keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm Kyle Wallace. He's Homer Blow. We'll have more next.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth. This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just a what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snime. The Milwaukee Bucks lose again as they fell to OKC on Monday night. This one by a final score of 125-96 as they lose now their fourth game in a row. Giannis, Damian Lillard, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Chris Middleton all missing this one last night. Head coach Doc Rivers talking about that after the game.
I really wanted to. My instincts told me to fly them directly to Charlotte. Yes. Today, that's a bad luck, and so I didn't do that. And I didn't want to waste the owner's money on fines.
The leading scorer for the Bucks last night was Ryan Rollins with 16. Next up is Charlotte on Wednesday night. And last, over to college hoops, for the 11th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles will take on the 12th-ranked St. John's tonight on the road. That tip-off is set for 5:30. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Woo. Truth Nation, Milwaukee's biggest party on the lake, Summerfest, just announced. Did you hear this, Homer? That the legendary Isley Brothers and Milwaukee's very own Eric Benet will be performing at Summerfest on Juneteenth at the BMO Pavilion. And of course, the award-winning 1017 The Truth has exclusive access for you. Tune in all day Thursday as we'll be giving away pairs of tickets to see the Isley Brothers and Eric Benet live at Summerfest on all of our shows. If you're not one of those lucky 5 winners, that's okay, because you can purchase tickets for the Isley Brothers and Eric Benet live at Summerfest on June 19th by visiting summerfest.com. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am Kyle Wallace, and with me is the legendary
Homer Blow.
Blessing to have him here today. Make sure you watch and stream us live on YouTube, 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. Now, I just want y'all to listen up. All right, so I take nothing at face value. When I see something, I got to dig, right? Especially when it comes to Milwaukee Public Schools, because when you're talking about candidates for a job, you want to know what is their track record, right?
Correct.
The reason why I was so against voting for Mandela Barnes was because when I had a chance to see his track record, I didn't see much, right? I didn't see things that he can talk about, bills that he passed and efforts that he did to help the black community. I know he did stuff, but when I think about how much did he uplift the black community, I don't think he did enough, right? Especially based off his predecessor in Jason Fields, who I know have contributed more. And then on top of that, I didn't like the fact that the white Chris Larson, who is also a state senator, pushed him to run against Lena Taylor to try to take her seat. So I didn't like that, so I couldn't support that. Cavalier Johnson is another one, right? I didn't like his track record, right? He just got in. Not saying Chevy's not going to be great, but I felt like his resume wasn't long enough to match up being the mayor of Milwaukee, right? And so that's the reason why I was like, not so sure. So using those as examples, because those are big examples that we have here, because Chevy is now the current mayor doing the best that he can, and Mandela ran for the U.S. Senate, and he lost. And so doing some research on the candidates, I found some things that I think will be interesting. Now, I want everybody to go to JS Online and have a great article, or it might be Fox. It wasn't JS. Was it JS Online or who had the article?
Probably JS.
I think it might have been they were able to reach out. Oh, no, you know what it was? I'm sorry. It was Channel 4. Okay. Channel 4 had an article where they had a chance to interview some of the candidates. It was Channel 4, TMJ4, Channel 4.
And the woman wasn't there, but the other two were.
The woman was not there. The other one was there. And so there are 3 finalist candidates that we have for the superintendent position. It's Dr. Brenda Casellas, who is the former superintendent for Boston Public Schools, Dr. Joshua Starr, who's the former superintendent for Montgomery County Public Schools in Maryland, which has a huge district that he oversaw over 100,000 students, and Dr. Andre Townsell, who is the current superintendent for Calvert County Public Schools in Maryland. So I did some research, Homer.
Okay, what did you come up with?
I came up with that these candidates are trash, right? They're trash. And I'll tell you why. This is why. Dr. Brenda Casellas, when she was in Boston, they came to an agreement for them to separate.
Okay.
She did not leave on her own willing, they came to an agreement where they were going to say nice things. But when you look into the reports, it said there's a rapid decline in student performance when she was in Boston, Massachusetts. The achievement gap was still persistent. She was not able to close the achievement gap, and they said the central office that she ran was inefficient and ineffective. Does that sound very familiar? Anything that you've heard about?
Yes, it does.
What does that sound? What does that sound like?
Sound like something we just went through here at MPS.
It sounds like something that we went through with MPS. And again, I don't know Brenda at all, but based off the research that I did on her, this all sounds like status quo. Somebody who could not close the achievement gap out in Boston, Massachusetts. Someone who actually saw a decline, and granted she was there during 2020, so there was a decline in a lot of places, but who saw a decline in student performance as well, but then also people complaining about the fact that there's maybe too much fat in central office and it not running smoothly and it being ineffective. Obviously, she had a lack of leadership out there. I don't want her coming anywhere near MPS with that type of track record.
Questions that should be asked on February 6th and February 7th. Everything that you just heard should be brought up when we get to Q&A.
So all you got to do is Google her, and you will be able to find these same articles and same information, because you got to understand people's track record. Now let's go to the next one. Dr. Joshua Starr, the former superintendent of Montgomery County Public Schools. Now, Dr. Joshua Starr, he was able to somewhat close the achievement gap. Okay. But see, you talked about accountability before.
Correct.
Out there in Montgomery County Public Schools, which is a district that has a lot of black students as well, they said that achievement gap that you closed wasn't good enough. We weren't satisfied with you closing that gap, so we gonna want to move on as well. That's another individual who was voted out by the board that they have out there in Montgomery County. The board decided that he was not succeeding at the job, and they decided they wanted to move on from him. Now, in addition to that, he also is somebody, he applied for another job out in New York where he came from about, I think I want to say 3 years after getting there, right? Okay. So that ruffled some feathers as well. And then on top of that, Homer, there were some issues with some inappropriate conduct between teachers and students, and the school district felt like he didn't quite handle that the best way he could. And then some rollouts with Common Core standards, they felt like they didn't roll it out very well. So again, checkered past, history of some things that people may not be too satisfied about when you talk about Dr. Joshua Starr. So when I look at those first two candidates, Homer, I'm like, dang. Like, I'm looking to try to find information. What I find is bad information.
Right,
I find why other people have separated from you. Do we really want the leftover and scraps from other places?
Nope.
I didn't think so. Now, the last one, Andre Townsend, the brother. He's the only brother.
Better, right? This is...
So maybe it depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask. Over, I'm more of a hardliner. So this one did appeal more to me. But for Andre Townsend, the only brother who is a finalist for this position, the big issue that he had is the fact that he oversees a district of about 16,000 students, and he had more arrests than the previous people that were there. And he, like, as the state of Maryland is looking to trend down on arresting students, in his county of Calvert County, he saw a trend up. 168 students were arrested in his school, and it became a whole big thing about him arresting students, and also disciplinary actions as well in the schools were up, right? But the good thing is that he's a hardliner, and they actually saw achievement go up, but the district is mostly white. It's not mostly black.
Well, so some of the meth heads and some of those people.
That's that's what it was.
See, and I didn't know that, but I'm telling you, and you know what? I think we need a hard liner. We need a hard-nosed person.
Homer, I'm right there with you. This is what Dr. Townsend said. He grew up in Detroit, Michigan, where he says culture in public schools was built around tough love, right? He said, I often say as climate and culture goes, so does curriculum and instruction. I've been discipline heavy before in my past, and it worked out for me. So for me, overall, that tough love mentality, that's something that I believe that needs to be brought to MPS.
It does, man. It does. I mean, it's too many passes, and yet we want to have high achievements, but we're not doing all of the things that we need to do to get those high achievements. You ain't supposed to just pass just to get past. No, that's not how it works. You have to earn that. I remember when the grade point average to be in any extracurricular activity in MPS was much higher than what it is now.
Mm-hmm. No.
You know what I'm saying? Now we downgrade, but yet we wondering why we can't go in on our own merit and be qualified for these different jobs, and why the Orange Man is playing on that.
That's true. I don't get it. 833-212-1017. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts and comments on this conversation we're having today?
I think there's pros and cons. Some schools love it when the parents don't show up. Some schools are terrified when the parents make a point to be there. And the other issue is some of this stuff started after the cocaine baby and crack babies, and then when these 2000 babies came, then the kids started running the household and paying the bills. And so what happened is the parents kind of threw their hands up, and that's why these kids is out here running rapid. The kids don't run your household. That's the mama job. And then also the standard in parenting. You got to put away the bonnets. You got to put away the pajamas. You got to let the Cartiers rest. And then all this weed smoking you doing in front of your kids is not right. And people got to show that they want to work. And if you run you a toxic household and your kids see you as toxic and you talking all these belligerent words, there's nobody you can blame except yourself. And you cannot send a kid to a school. A school is for education, not to babysit. And that's where you have your pros and cons, because schools like it when the parents don't come, because, hey, the parents don't care anyway. But then when the parents do show up who are involved, that's what keep the teachers, the administrations, and the school on their toes when you have concerned parents. But when you don't have the parents that concerned, they're stealing kids, they're taking them to Fast and Friendly and Woodman's to get their groceries. They're sitting there letting their kids be the dictators of their household.
Thank you so much, Al. We running short on time. That Fast and Friendly always offends me, only because I remember one time I went in there and the food was spoiled. I hated that because it was a place that people in the community was packed out.
Man, listen. Come on, man. And unfortunately, that's not a new thing where they end up taking food that is about to expire from outer locations and bring them into our inner city, and they throw a sale sign on it, and we line up to die.
833-212-1017. That's the Truth Talk to text line. And the caller, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What is your thoughts on this conversation?
Kyle, like last week we discussed family. You talked about how you were an older cousin. I was the same, being involved, and maybe that doesn't occur as much. But if parents were required, as many private schools require them, to be involved to a certain extent, and I think that would definitely improve the situation because they would be aware of where their children are as far as their learning. And when it comes to the community piece that you guys talked about, I think more awareness, and that's something, Kyle, you guys can help out with letting the community know when certain meetings are going to be held. Because, Homer, right now on the table with MPS is closing our historical alma mater, where, you know, we saw a lot of people who maybe didn't have a whole lot of money but wanted to learn, my brother. Yeah. And we had some outstanding teachers.
Yes,
and
sir.
Some of the people who we went to school with are those outstanding teachers today that carry on Mr. James Gordon's philosophy of learning.
Yep.
Ms. Ruth Thomas, who taught scholars who went to HBCUs. And you guys have a commercial about the millions of dollars that Milwaukee students are receiving. So I think the last thing that I want to talk about is paying more attention to the kids who are trying hard and those who are achieving, as opposed to the ones who don't want to learn. And maybe this gentleman that you guys are talking about will make sure that there is a place for those who, you know, are still developing their personality and learning that you have to learn to earn.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you so much.
No lies detected, bro.
No lies at all. 833-212-1017. I'm joined here on Truth to Power with the legendary Homer Blow. Before we go to break, though, y'all know what time it is.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all is right. Truth Nation, now is your chance to be the one call, that's all 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 5 today. Caller number 5 right now at 833-212-1017, and you will be entered in to win $5,000 with the one call, that's all Gruber Cash giveaway, courtesy of 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. Again, that is caller number 5 at 833-212-1017 to be caller number 5 to be entered to win the $5,000 Gruber giveaway. Remember, if your loved one has ever been injured in an accident, contact Gruber Law Office today and visit them at gruber-law.com for official contest rules. Visit 1017thetruth.com. More Truth to Power is coming up next.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Visit Pella at the NARI Spring Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Find out why Pella has the best wood warranty in the industry. Learn about their incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home, and how Pella's professional installers work fast and year-round. The timing is impeccable. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. You also have no worries thanks to Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's February 14th through the 16th at NARI Spring Home Improvement Show. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because their home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote from an agent at amfam.com. Products are not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating companies American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm attorney David Gruber. We've helped injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust our hometown team to get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Welcome back in to Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Congratulations to Howard on being entered to win $5,000 courtesy of 1017 The Truth and Gruber Law Offices. And again, today on Truth to Power, I have been joined by the legendary
Homer Blow.
And he will be joining me monthly, 2 times per month. So I'm excited to have him continue to join me. And we also have other people who will be joining me. So definitely stay tapped in because you never know who will be joining Truth to Power. But as we wrap up here, we'll get to Homer Blow. Share your final thoughts on how you want to wrap up the show today.
Investigate. Do your work. Do your work. Investigate and find out who these people are. We're talking about bringing it into our MPS system, which is showing that it has a lot of issues going on. Also, parental accountability, guardianship, whoever. If you are in charge of these young children and these teens that are going to school, you got to be involved in their school consistently, not periodically, not every now and then, but consistently, and hold them accountable as they should be able to hold you accountable as their parent or guardian.
I love that, Homer. I love that. And for me, when we're talking about this again, February 6th and February 7th is finalist days in the district where you have an opportunity to have a community forum and talk to the finalists who are up for the position to be the superintendent for Milwaukee Public Schools. There's 3 candidates out there: Dr. Brenda Caselis, Dr. Joshua Starr, and Dr. Andre Townsell. Let your voice be heard, especially if you have students in the district. My recommendation, again, this is a pre-recommendation before we hear from them on the 6th and 7th. And again, go to TMJ4 News. Had a great article about it. But when I look at Andre Townsell, a young brother who works at a school district that is very successful. Now, it's not a huge school district that he has, but it's a very successful school district. He only has 15,000 students that he works with, so this would be a lot bigger. But when he talks about the fact that, he knows that tough love helped him, when he talks about holding students accountable for their behavior because he believes it contributes to better academic outcomes, that's something that I want to hear, because at the end of the day, we need these kids to go to school and be held accountable, because they got to understand when they graduate from school, they're going to be held accountable in life. Sometimes it may be held accountable where you get fired from a job. Sometimes sometimes you end up having a tough go at it, but you grow from the accountability. And so accountability is just what life is all about. And so if you're able to get that instilled in you, that tough love instilled in you in high school, in MPS, I guarantee you the academic outcomes and the success that we'll have from our students will increase, and we'll see the results. But this has been Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank you again to the legendary
Homer Blow. For honor and blessing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And thank you so much to Truth Nation for listening. This has been Truth to Power. The Tory Lowe Show is up next. Peace out.
This Wednesday, the Milwaukee Panthers head to Indiana to take on conference foe, the IU Indy Jaguars.
Panthers ball down 69-63. Folks turns the corner, gets in from the left, and